Good evening, Tallahassee. I am student meteorologist Angelo Agastra here with your FSU weather update. Taking a look at our current conditions, we're sitting at 88 degrees right now in Tallahassee. We have some scattered thunderstorms off in the distance, but you can see it feels like 99 degrees outside with that humidity. Taking a look at our radar, we do have some very strong thunderstorms to the west of our area. You can see all these lightning strikes. Tallahassee's pretty clear right now, but we do have some thunderstorms to the south that could come into play later this evening. For tonight, we will drop to 75 degrees. Those thunderstorms will die off and give us some partly cloudy skies with some light westerly winds. And for your 3-day forecast, heading into 4th of July, you can expect these rain chances to go up, reaching 50% on Friday with those temperatures in the mid-90s, so pretty uncomfortable. And for our headlines for tonight, a very hot and humid 4th of July expected, that seasonal rain pattern returning with those afternoon thunderstorms, and a stormy Saturday ahead. But right now, I'm going to turn things off to Tyler with a look at the national.
Thanks, Angelo. Actually, we're talking about the Southeast, but it is part of the national picture here, and it's pretty much just like yesterday, very hot throughout most of the Southeast, especially in Florida, getting to 93 degrees in Orlando, a little bit rain-cooled in Tallahassee now at 88, and then the hottest spot is Montgomery at 95. As we move westward, a little bit cooler as we have more cloud coverage over there. The dew points for Florida are also very high as well. It is very muggy, almost say miserable out here. When I had to walk to class, I was sweating. And with move towards Georgia and the Carolinas, though, feeling a little bit better, a little bit less humid. And then once again, as we move westward, not quite as humid. Most of our humidity is keeping close to the coastlines. As we look at the muggy meter, all these unhappy faces, you can see them tracing along the coastline. So that's where it feels the hottest in our heat index here, which shows us how hot it actually feels outside to us. In Montgomery, we're hitting at 101. Tallahassee's at 99 right now. Earlier in the day, we were around 106 though, so it was really hot outside. But as we're moving through the evening, it's starting to cool down a little bit. Miami also pretty hot at 102, Charleston also at 102. Looking at the satellite and radar, high pressure is dominating most of the southeast, although we have a weaker low pressure system right here. Most of the rain is associated with this line of storms right here south of Houston, but it's sticking in the Gulf of Mexico right now. We have some scattered showers all throughout Florida that we're going to get into later on in the show. We can see this high pressure system right here moving clockwise, and it's bringing some somewhat breezy conditions for the southeast, especially in Tampa at 12 miles per hour and Nashville also at 12 miles per hour, all throughout the rest of the region, sitting between 5 and 10 miles per hour. As we go through the next 24 hours, by the time we hit 2 a.m. tonight, we're not going to see much rain anymore. But as we get through late Wednesday morning, we're going to see this line of showers west of New Orleans going to start moving in there, and the rest of the southeast as well is also going to see scattered showers, which is the normal summertime pattern here in the southeast. And for tonight, we're going to be sitting in the mid-70s in most of the states. Little Rock getting down to 70. Miami and Tampa sitting at the low 80s tonight, though. And as we get into tomorrow, going to be pretty much the same as today. We're going to be in the mid to upper 90s for most of the region, with also some chances of showers. But right now, I'm going to pass things off to Angelo. He's going to give us our first local look of the day.
Thank you, Tyler. And right now we are sitting at 88 degrees. It feels like 99 outside thanks to that humidity and some scattered thunderstorms off in the distance with those south-southeast winds at 7 miles an hour. But throughout the Big Bend region, it's 96 degrees in Monticello, 89 in St. Mark's, just a little cooler because they're on the coast, and 92 over in Carabel. Those dew points, now this is basically a measure of how much moisture is in the air, and you can see those dew points are very, very high. 76 in Tallahassee, 76 in Carabel, a little more comfortable in St. Mark's, but overall very humid and very uncomfortable conditions throughout the Big Bend region. And we can see that on our muggy meter, a lot of frowny faces, meaning it feels very muggy outside. So not feeling the greatest as you're walking outside right now. Now, the heat index is basically what it feels like outside when you factor in that humidity with the temperature, and you can see it feels like 105 in Monticello, 114 in Sumatra. I personally do not want to know what that feels like, and 99 here in Tallahassee thanks to some clouds that have moved through the area. Those winds are pretty light coming out of the west. We have 7 miles an hour in Tallahassee, a little bit windier down here, 15 miles an hour in Apalachicola. And for our next 24 hours, those thunderstorms will die off, leaving some cloud cover overnight. But by tomorrow, we will have those sea breeze boundaries develop again, giving us that enhanced chance for rain. And if you're heading out for the 4th of July, maybe going to see some fireworks at Tom Brown Park, we will start out pretty sunny at 7 a.m., but those rain chances will come through the area by 4 p.m. with that high of 96 degrees. And if you're heading out that night, the rain chances will die off by about 10 p.m., but we still have a muggy temperature of 82 expected, but at least there won't be rain to delay those fireworks outside. For tonight, you can see we do get to 77 in Tallahassee, 78 in St. Mark's. Some chances for showers and thunderstorms do persist, but overall clearing out throughout much of the region. And for tomorrow, you can see we get up to 98 in Tallahassee, almost at that 100-degree mark, so very uncomfortable outside with those chances for rain persisting throughout the Big Bend region. Taking a look at our 7-day, you can see that we have 96 expected for Wednesday and Thursday with those 40% chance of rain. So looking like a pretty good 4th of July, although there might be some showers, but those rain chances will increase as we go into the weekend. 60% on Saturday, and rain chances staying mostly 40 to 50% throughout the week with those highs in the mid-90s. But for now, I'm going to turn things off to Tyler with a look at the National.
Thanks, Angelo. And a lot of the National is kind of the same picture as what we saw in the Southeast. Our high temperature for yesterday was 114, set in thermal California. Pretty hot, even for the summer. 114, I wouldn't want to be there right now. But also in the same state of California, they had a low of 32 this morning in Truckee, California, and also Mammoth Lakes, California. Those are up in the mountains, so that's why they're experiencing those lower, actually right at freezing point temperatures right now. But for the rest of the Southeast, it's pretty hot. You can see all of the red here in the east. The coolest spot throughout the east is New Orleans at 81. I wouldn't even really call that cool. As we move westwards, it starts to cool down a little bit, but even places like Denver sitting at 80 right now. But Seattle and Billings are in the 60s. Phoenix is our hot spot, currently at 105. And then the dew points, all throughout this summer, we always see this line right here dividing the dryness and the moistness in the country. As we move eastward towards this line, we have a lot muggier, more uncomfortable conditions. And as we move westward, a lot drier conditions. So even if it feels hot outside, it's not quite as bad. And looking at our winds, we have much of a southerly flow here in the center of the country. We actually have a frontal boundary right here, so you can see the winds kind of splitting off westward and eastward around Kansas City. Also, we see this high pressure system that I alluded to earlier sitting to the southwest of Tallahassee right now. And then as we move towards the west coast, we have winds coming off from the ocean. Pretty breezy conditions in San Francisco and LA right now. And here is that front right here with the two low pressure systems. It's not a very strong front. There's not a lot of storms associated with it. You can see right along the boundary that there are still some storms. So we're going to kind of zoom into that in a minute, but the storm outlook here, level 2 out of 5 risk in south of Billings, Montana, and north of Denver. That's the yellow, and then the green is a marginal risk. That's a 1 out of 5 chance of seeing a severe thunderstorm. And then the light green that you see, that's just a chance of seeing some normal thunderstorms that aren't quite so severe in nature. I actually have a severe thunderstorm watch right now in parts of North Dakota and South Dakota associated with this line of thunderstorms that are moving eastward. Actually, this red right here is a tornado warning, so watch out for that. And then moving to the east, we actually have some more showers moving eastward towards Washington and New York and also Toronto. But looking at airport delays, don't have anything to worry about here in Tallahassee. We didn't see too much rain today. Pretty clear conditions right now besides the clouds. No delays expected, sitting at 88 degrees right now. And then looking at the rest of the country, don't really see any delays for the most part, although Chicago, they did see a line of storms move in earlier in the day. They were at a higher risk of airport delays, but now they're just at that medium risk. Seeing fairer weather everywhere else, Atlanta, New York, LA, not really expecting any delays. Over the next 48 hours, we're going to see that rain start to move out for most of the country, but as we get into the afternoon, of course, as usual, those storms start to spark up, and we're still seeing some severe weather in the North Dakota and South Dakota area. Also, Kansas City seeing a line of storms move through as well, but that severe weather that was associated with the North and South Dakotas is going to move eastward towards Minneapolis and eventually die out. But for tonight, going to see mid-70s for most of the southeast, and then as we move westward, going to be in the mid-60s to as we get towards Seattle and San Francisco, though, they're also going to get down to 57 and 55 there. And for tomorrow, still going to stay hot throughout the southeast and the central parts of the country. Tallahassee going to be all the way up at 98 degrees, although we might get some rain to cool us off a little bit. Boston, they're sitting at 81, but partly cloudy skies. Going to feel a little bit better. And as we get towards the west coast, of course, as usual, California, sunny and beautiful, sitting at 67 degrees tomorrow. But now, Angela's going to give us a look at Florida and see what's going on there.
Thanks, Tyler. And right now across Florida, it is very hot and muggy. You can see 88 degrees in Tallahassee, 91 in Tampa, a bit cooler in Pensacola because they have some thunderstorms in the area, but overall very uncomfortable and muggy conditions across the state. Those dew points are a measure of that moisture in the air, and you can see dew points throughout the peninsula are in the 70s. So when you factor in the moisture with that humidity, it makes it feel very uncomfortable outside. I know when I was walking to class today, I was dripping in sweat because I just could not take the heat outside. Now that heat index is basically what it feels like, and you can see Tampa is feeling like 100 degrees right now at 6 o'clock, so that's not a great feeling. 82 in Pensacola because they have that rain, and 99 in Tallahassee. Taking a look at our satellite, you can see we do have some thunderstorms that are developing in the Big Bend, and we did have a lot of activity over in Central Florida that's kind of dying out as we head into the night. But you can see this moisture behind us is actually going to start to filter in and increase our rain chances later in the week. Zooming in, you can see those thunderstorms I mentioned just north of Panama City, producing a lot of lightning strikes, as well as some out here towards Pensacola. Here in Tallahassee, pretty clear right now, although these thunderstorms to the south of us are causing a lot of lightning as well. Heading over to Jacksonville, now these storms actually produced a severe thunderstorm warning earlier. That has since expired, but you can see there's still a lot of lightning and very heavy rain just north of Gainesville. And for our winds, you can see this clockwise wind circulation thanks to this high pressure system that's keeping conditions rather calm, but you see we do have some gusty winds up here in Gainesville, 20 miles an hour. That's probably due to those thunderstorms within the area that I mentioned earlier. Over the next 24 hours, those storms die off into the overnight, but once we get into tomorrow, that daytime heating and those sea breeze boundaries will cause the activity to fire up again, especially down here in South Florida. We see some pretty heavy thunderstorms near Fort Myers. For tonight's forecast, mostly in the mid-70s to low 80s across the state. You can see we're going to be at 77 in Tallahassee, 78 in Pensacola. Key West is the hot spot at 82 degrees. And for tomorrow's forecast, Tallahassee is going to get up to 98 degrees, Gainesville at 97, Tampa a little cooler at 91 thanks to the water there, but overall very warm and uncomfortable throughout the state. And for now, I'm going to hand things off to Tyler with a look at the local.
And you probably got the picture right now. You probably know what I'm about to say. It is hot outside. Probably not as bad as you were expecting here in Tallahassee, though. Gotten down to 88 because of the cloud coverage, but it still does feel like 99, so not feeling the best. The scattered thunderstorms might start to cool things down if they move through, though, all throughout the rest of the region. Right now, Perry's sitting at 89, Tallahassee 88. As we move northward, we get towards Thomasville at 90, Valdosta at 94. Those dew points very high towards the coastline, except for St. Mark's, 68, not quite as bad. But generally, as you move more inland, those dew point temperatures start to drop a little bit, and the muggy meter shows a little bit happier faces, although right now, pretty much all of them are frowning because you really can't escape the mugginess here in the southeast right now. Right here towards our west, we see the thunderstorms really starting to build up to the northeast of Panama City as they start to move a little bit more eastward. Also, south of Tallahassee, we're seeing those storms build up, might start to finally move through here. And as we move towards Cross City, some showers, but most of the thunderstorms are associated more eastward towards Gainesville. And now we see the sea breeze moving here from the west towards the east, bringing some breezy conditions for Apalachicola at 15 miles per hour. But for the rest of the Big Bend region, not too breezy, sitting right around 5 to 10 miles per hour. And then once you start getting into Georgia, the wind's not really a factor anymore. Over the next 24 hours, we're really going to see the rain start to dissipate towards those late morning hours, late evening hours, some cloud coverage, and then in the afternoon, going to see some more rain move through. Pretty much always the same story. During the summer, you're going to see some afternoon showers for the most part, unless we have really, really strong high pressure systems right on top of us. But tonight, going to be sitting at 75 degrees, partly cloudy, some very slightly breezy conditions with winds coming out of the west at 4 miles per hour. And then tomorrow, going to be sitting at 96 degrees, always a chance of some afternoon showers here in Tallahassee. And we're going to have some winds at 5 miles per hour. If you're going to the res tomorrow, make sure to go early because it's going to get hot and it's going to be raining by around 4 o'clock. And then looking at your 7-day forecast, we're going to have rain chances start to pick up as we move through the weekend. 40% chance on Thursday. Hopefully those rain chances don't ruin your 4th of July, but plan on maybe seeing some rain, but those rainy conditions are going to persist throughout the next week, and then those temperatures are going to stay pretty high in the mid-90s. That's all we have tonight. Have a great night.